Welcome to 8 Unedited Minutes. Today I'm here with Tim Hughes, CEO and co-founder of DLA Ignite and author of Social Selling, Techniques to Influence Buyers and Changemakers. Thank you for making the time, Tim. I appreciate it. There's the book.
Hi, Mark. Thanks for talking to me. Really excited.
And I'd love to learn the story behind it. That was the first book ever about social selling. How did you get so involved so early at such a high level? What's the story there?
Well, I got involved with social media probably back in 2012, 2013, and I was asked to write a book by Kogan Page 2015. So I rolled out social selling in Oracle across 4,000 people in Europe.
Okay.
And off the back of that, got a book deal, and then within 3 months, it was all written and came out in 2016.
That is awesome. And I know one of the things I love about the book and what you teach is that there's 3 things that you need for social selling if you want to be effective. And I think that's the key, to be effective, not just be online for the sake of being online. Can you speak to those 3 things?
Yes, the 3 things are, first and foremost, you need to have a buyer-centric profile. So this is a profile that your buyers are interested in. Your LinkedIn profile is a shop window to the world. There's just about to be 1 billion people on LinkedIn, and they're going to walk past your LinkedIn profile every day. And what you want them to do is go, I think that person looks interesting. I think that person can help me. The second thing that you need is a wide and varied network. The wider that you can get that, the better. So it's like having an online territory. You need to be connected to the people that you're trying to influence, and you need to have conversations. This is not sales conversations. This is conversations. It's very different. And the third thing you need is content. We know that our buyers are online looking for content that's going to inspire us, content that's going to educate us, content that's authentic, and that's what people are looking for. And we as sellers need to be developing that and posting that every day.
You go a little deeper as far as a wide and varied network. What does that look like?
So if you take BMW, a client of ours, they've got 100,000 people. So you need to be connected to more than 1 or 2 people. I don't know how many, but certainly more than probably 10. And you need to be connected to those people, because what you're trying to do is you're trying to influence them, because you'll maybe influence them to buy something, or maybe you're connecting to them because you're hoping that they're going to buy something. But the key thing is that you're not spamming them by saying, can you buy my product? This is about having conversations, because it's conversations that drive sales, not sales conversations.
What do those conversations look like? Because I know so many people now in the days of automation, you get those, it's like, okay, the LinkedIn invitation, when you know the pitch is coming, what does a productive conversation look like?
So anybody who sends a message and immediately basically tries to pitch, that's spam. That's not social selling. And what you'll find is that, whether they connect and pitch or do it's still spam, and you'll get a very low response rate by doing that, because all you're doing is that you're basically going through your network pissing people off. What you're looking to do is actually have conversations with people. Just think about having if you had a networking event, and at that networking event was all your prospects, and I was going to drive you there. What would you do with the first thing? You wouldn't walk in and say, buy my product because we're great. You'd walk up to somebody and say, hey, Mark, how you doing? Have you traveled far? Oh. Wow, isn't the weather's terrible at the moment? You'd have a proper conversation. And that is what it's, after all, it's social media. The hint's in the name. And that what people are looking for are to have those social conversations on social media.
How does that lead to content? Or does content lead to the conversation, or does conversation lead to the content, or is it both? A little bit of both?
Well, it could be both, because I put out an article this week which was about setting up podcasts, which was actually a question on another blog that I'd put out. But don't remember, one of the mistakes that people make with social media is that they think, right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to post something and walk away. Whereas, I say to people, so you just posted that and 20 people have liked it. What did you do? And they go, well, what do you mean? I said, well, 20 people have just basically said, I like what you've posted, Mark. I digitally resonate with what you do, and you've done nothing about it. You didn't go up to them and say, well, thanks for liking my post. Can we connect? or thanks for liking my post. What was it that you particularly liked? It's your ability to have a conversation. You're not going up to them saying, hey, thanks for liking my post, and do you want to buy a watch? And these are all the watches I've got to sell in my jacket. What you're doing is that you're having a conversation. And if you're having a conversation about a post, then you're not being evasive in terms of having a conversation about a product or a service, which we know salespeople will basically immediately go and drum pitch.
So it sounds like, especially, we'll stick with LinkedIn since we're talking about that. It's not about the likes. It sounds like it's more about the comments and making the comments turn into a conversation that might lead to business. Would that be correct?
Yes. So one of my colleagues wrote a post which basically said, on Friday evenings, my family love Led Zeppelin, and on Friday evenings, when I know it's time to close down for the weekend, my wife puts on Led Zeppelin. I know it's time to finish up and basically go and join the family for the weekend. What's your favorite Led Zeppelin song? And people put, mine is Kashmir. Some people put that from When the Levee Breaks, or they put Whole Lot of Love. On Monday, my colleague basically came in and sent all the people that he wasn't connected to and said, hey, thanks for liking my post. Yeah, Stairway to Heaven is one of my favorites as well. Can we connect?
So a real conversation.
All the people, yeah, and all the people he was connected to, he basically was able to send them a message saying, yeah, When the Levee Breaks is one of my favorites. We obviously have something in common. We both love that song. Why don't we get on a call?
Well, you've touched on it a little bit. Can you explain a little bit more about what is good content?
Content is actually what resonates with your audience. I'm not a judge of what would be good content. It would always be what the audience thinks. We actually have been running a benchmark for the last 10 months, and we actually can tell what is right and what content is right and what content works. You need to understand some of the psychology behind this, which is that people do not come to social media to read brochures or white papers. We can do that on your website, and I doubt people will actually do that on your website. What we're looking for is something that's interesting, that demonstrates that we're an expert, that shows that we're authentic. So, for example, I would just come off a podcast, and the guy's in a band. He posted a short video of him at the weekend in the band, and he said, I've never got any more engagement than that particular post. And then when I said to him, so what did you do with that engagement? He said, nothing. I said, 200 people basically said, hey, Mark, I love the fact that you're in a band at the weekend. Isn't that amazing? And he did nothing with it.
What did you tell him to do?
Lots of other people are doing that on social media at the moment. We're getting multi-million. We've got clients that are getting multi-million-dollar deals. Our SDRs make 10 meetings a week. Just think if people basically rolled that out across their sales team. I've got one SDR who complains to me. He says, I've made 25 meetings this week. I don't have any time for anything else.
Well, it's proof that it works, and we've covered a lot of ground in a short period of time. If someone's watching and they realize they need to get better at social selling, what would be one thing you would tell them? If nothing else, start doing this. What one thing would you tell them to start doing to do it?
Well, there's the 3 bits of advice. I would always recommend, and I know I'm biased, but basically go and get a copy of my book, read it, and then give me your feedback, because I've just come off a podcast where a person's read my book, and he just said to me, I've just wasted 8 years of my life on social media because I didn't realize I wasn't doing it right.
Wow. So again, the book is Social Selling. Thank you very much for being here, Tim. I appreciate you making the time. There it is. And this has been amazing. Thank you so much, Tim.
Thanks, Mark. Good to meet you.